Hey there, in today's video, I am showing you how to make your own, very own original tape, painting over existing tape to make own tape for work in any kind of mixed media art or in, as you're doing gift wrapping, whatever. The ideas are endless if you kind of think about it. Also, besides painting over tape, we're also going to paint over stickers. Is something I also use as a faux tape. So this might fall under the realm of craft, but I feel like it also ups our game in terms of making something that is typically really plain and basic and maybe a little bit boring into something that we're elevating. We're elevating our tape and our stickers. So anyway, I hope that you will maybe take a peek at it and let me know if you've ever done anything like this and if you find that that it might be helpful, or that it might be useful, or that it might just be silly. So who knows? But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. To get started on painting over tape, the first project I'm going to show you is, first off, you need some tape. So some of the things I've painted over are various washi tapes that I do not necessarily care for the design or the pattern on there. The regular, just this is like Scotch tape. I also have a glossier tape that I a lot of times use for my packaging, but I kind of like the less shiny tape for this project. And then also I have this fabric tape, which is my personal favorite because one, the width is about an inch, and then you get that beautiful fabric texture, which I absolutely love. And mostly what I'm doing this for is to do packaging, to add a special little piece of tape on my packaging when I do not have specific tape, which I do like washi tape, but when I run out or I want a specific color, then I will make my own. Now, I will say that I think masking tape would work. Like just various, I would just experiment and see what works. But I know masking tape works. I just don't have any. Maybe even that black electrical type tape. I don't know. It might be too sticky. I will say when I'll show you the different types of things you can put your tape onto. I'm going to demo this, but this will make more sense later. This is just a piece of palette paper. It's very shiny on one side. And so when you put your tape down, then it will peel back up because it won't lose most of its stickiness because this is so shiny. I also have the back of some contact paper that I just used, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is even shinier. You probably can't tell on camera, but I was like, today for this purposes, I'm going to try this because I've never used that because I normally do not have just a leftover piece of the back of a contact paper. So I've used a palette paper, and then I've used deli paper. Now, deli paper has two sides. Typically, one is shiny and one is not. And often when I'm painting, I paint on the non-shiny side. But in the case of painting this tape, I would use the shiny side. So I'm thinking there might be other things that work. Maybe parchment paper, any freezer paper. There's probably a variety of papers that are very shiny that the tape won't adhere to. So you'll be able to, it'll adhere, but then you'll be able to pull it off. I will say one of the tapes that I tried that I've had poor success with, and maybe on this super shiny paper I would have a better result, was like a packing tape, a clear packing tape. It is just so sticky that it just ripped off of both of these when I tried them that way. So I'm not going to use that today, but what I would suggest is if this is something that you like, that you grab a whole bunch of tapes that you're not using or that you want to change the color of, and just experiment, just cut strips and go for it. So I think it doesn't take a lot of materials. And then I also grabbed some scissors for cutting my tape. So I think that's about all we need besides the paint. Obviously, whatever paint you choose, craft, artist grade, whatever it is, that I think will be perfectly fine. And I'm not quite sure what palette I'm going to use today, but it'll probably be browns and blacks and maybe some lighter colors as well. But it's just, I don't need a lot because I'm just painting on these strips. And today I'm only going to use the fabric tape. So I think, I wanted to show you one other thing. So I wanted to show you, I did this just a little bit ago. I wanted to just to do a quick example. I'm going to set this aside so you can see. Okay, so I did this on
on the deli paper because I kind of wanted to confirm. So this is a piece of tape that I do not like the pattern, and so I have painted over it, but I just wanted to peel it up and show you that it peels up. Now I will say that it's typically not the tackiest tape anyway, but it is, you know, it's more for decoration. But you can see, I think that turned out pretty cool. So then this is the just the Scotch tape, and you can see like I didn't paint it solid, so there's little spots that come through, and I think that is a great result. And then here is the fabric tape, and it comes up pretty easy too. So this is my favorite, not necessarily because of the pattern, but because I love the width, I love the fabric feel of it, just everything about it. So then typically I would just leave this on here until I was ready to use it. And often I have an idea in mind so that I have a color scheme. In this case, we're just gonna be messing around. I'm just gonna show you how I do this. And so let's get started with that part. I'll grab some paint and we'll get started. To begin, I decided to just have a few paint colors. I chose a raw umber, the carbon black, raw sienna, and cobalt turquoise. And I decided to go with the fluids because I think I was using the heavy body last time, and it's fine, but I feel like I think this will be easier with the fluids. So we'll see, maybe it won't. So the first thing I have to do is I have my paper taped down because I'm using the back of the contact paper and it wants to roll. Normally I wouldn't tape it down, I would have no need to do that. And I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 strips here. So I'm just going to pull that off. I kind of want them to be fairly long, and then just make sure they're smoothed on down. So let's see, they could be closer than this. It doesn't really matter. It's not, however you want to do it. And that you could do super long pieces, which I think would be great if you have a place to do a big long sheet, which would be fun to have, you know, a continuous roll, and then you just cut off pieces. But for my purposes, I will probably just leave them on the sheet once they're done, and then I will cut them off as I need to cut off pieces as I'm wrapping and things like that. So that's as simple as it can be. So I just grabbed some scruffy brushes because I kind of want to put the paint in, and I'm going to start, I might just start with some black. And because, I went under the paint. Okay, that is not what I meant to do. So that one will probably not, that will probably ruin that part of the tape. So there you go. That's a tip for what not to do. So I kind of just wanted to scrape some black on. A lot of the gifts or the packages that I send out are craft colored paper, and so I think black goes well with that. And I think the raw sienna or ochre or whatever also does. So I'm going to kind of just go back in and fill in a little bit of that. Now you could wait and have it dry in between, because you can see this is kind of making it a little bit green, but you know, I just want to do it quickly and show you. I don't want to overthink it. I'm trying to think all the places I can add a hint of this. Maybe I won't use the brown this time. Let's see, we could use some more up there. I'm gonna put a little bit more out. This, and you could, if you wanted to, I don't normally, you could gesso, and then this, because this paint is really soaking into this fabric, that's why it's taking probably more paint than normal, because the fabric is wanting to soak up the paint. So if you put gesso down first, it wouldn't absorb, it wouldn't take up as much paint. Okay, so I'm going to come back. I like that. I like those. And you can see, you could do anything. You could do a dot pattern. You could do, you know, just like I'm doing, just random marks. It's fine. And besides, you're going to cut those. They're going to be cut into pieces as you use them. And, you know, obviously you could use a long strip, but I'm just kind of adding in so that when I cut the piece here, I get a little bit maybe of each part of the color on the piece of tape. So it all kind of goes together. So as you can see, I'm trying not to spend too much time thinking about it. Some of them might have more of one color than of another, but I think it's kind of a fun thing. And if I knew I was doing something particular, I could make a pattern or a design based on, you know, something that I needed or wanted to do. I might come back in with a little bit of black. I know that's our versus the brown, even though I put the raw umber out, I don't think I'm going to use it now that I got started. But I do think I want a few more hits, a little hit of the black, kind of soaked in. So I'm just kind of, the whole thing it's up to you. Obviously, I'm leaving it so that it's kind of like canvas showing through, but you could paint so there's not one stitch of the beige paint color coming through. You could do that however you liked. Okay, let's see. Do I want, oh, this one needs a little bit more of this yellow. So see, it's kind of fun. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that down here. And I think as it goes on top, it will have more of the yellow color. Okay, well, it's literally as simple as that, and you can overthink it. It is tape. So it's, you know, so there's something to think about, like, okay, that's good. It is literally just tape. Now, the other thing I could have done is I could have taken like a palette knife and just scraped across all of it and, you know, made it really just, and painted the paper and everything. This paper is resisting because it's so shiny, so that probably wouldn't work. And if you did, you'd probably need to use like palette paper, which is a little less shiny. And I have, like I said, I have not used this paper in this way. When I have something, I do like to use what I have. And so that was, I had just used some contact paper. And so the backside was super, super shiny. And I thought, oh, it'll be perfect for this project. But the downside is I can see the tape isn't adhering, and that is why my paintbrush went underneath. So that is something to take into consideration. So if it's too shiny and that the tape doesn't adhere as well, you may risk getting underneath like I did. So, okay, so this is one way you can create your own tape when you're doing a package or, you know, what other project you could add it into some kind of mixed media project as well. So I'm gonna set this aside and then show you the sticker project. This project came about because I was trying to think of ways, and I had seen a video on this, and I have no recall of who it was, so I feel bad about not being able to give credit. Somebody somewhere has painted over stickers, and I suppose I'm not the first person nor the last person to suggest it. So I wanted to add an embellished sticker, and I do like the circles, and these are super shiny, so I don't know if this is going to work, but this might need a coat of gesso, actually. As we're talking, I'm thinking out loud. So I have all these random stickers, right? So alphabet stickers. These are probably some kind of business supply. These are like from use them in yard sales or something. Stickers. I think these come free in the mail too and then little square stickers. And then of course there are your address label stickers. You can see that peeling up. And I have a huge bin of those. So the thing I like about these, I'm just going to pull one up so you can see. Let me put it right there so you can actually see it. This is actually the size. I got to thinking, oh my gosh, this is the size of a piece of tape. It comes back to packaging again. If this was colored, I could literally have this whole sheet painted and then just pull them up and use these instead of, you know, you're using your tape to pull off. I would have it ready to go. I would just peel off a sticker. So I know that might seem silly, but I think I like having as many unique things when I package or when I am wrapping gifts as possible. So for me, this is just another fun way. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm using my same color palette from the tape that I painted. So I'm not going to use all of these. This one, I really feel like, now I'm dropping them all over. I'm going to use these bigger pieces because it makes more sense. So maybe this. And this one's on their cattywampus, so let's take that off, okay? And then, so we'll paint maybe a few of these Anybody can paint over white. I want to paint the big one. I want to paint, these seem like maybe they're not going to stick real well. Well, yeah, maybe these alphabet ones, and then this one. And here's the thing, I'm going to grab some, I wasn't really thinking about this, but I'm going to grab some gesso, and I'm going to, before we start, I'm going to paint gesso over this and then paint it with paint. Because I don't know if you can see how how shiny that is, but the rest of these are not that shiny, so I think that they'll be fine. I'm going to grab actually a piece of deli paper. I'm going to put that down so to protect the surface a little bit. Okay. So I have a big jug of gesso. I'm going to grab a different paintbrush over here, just a random. Of course, I can't decide on one. Okay, let's just quickly cover that. Yeah, I don't even know what the gesso. So that might be something to think about. I've not done anything this shiny before, so mostly I've done the address labels and with a great result. So, and then also just other, stickers for that I've gotten free in the mail. So this may or may not even work. It may not even dry. So I'm gonna set this aside. I don't know if we'll have time to do that. Okay, so enough of that. Enough of the shiny gesso talk. You certainly, if you were even, I had mentioned before with the tape, gesso is always a great idea in terms of priming because, I'm gonna use this up, because it adds a layer that then bonds to whatever paint you're using. So it helps, and it also helps the paint not be absorbed quite to the same degree. Okay, so now I'll let that one dry for a second. So let's do this one. And because I was using so much of the black, let's just use, and as you can see, this one's pretty shiny too. I'm gonna do the whole thing in brown and see what happens. Once that dries a little bit, then we can come back in with another color. But I'm trying to get rid of the image that's there. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. We'll come back to it. Okay, that's fairly dry. Let's try that. Let's do this turquoise. And again, I'm just wanting to cover so we don't see what's underneath. And then we can decide if we want to do a pattern. Although plain is fine too, but okay, so some of those don't have any stickers in them. Okay, I'm gonna set that one aside. Okay, so then we have this one, and I already have some colors on there. I think I'm gonna go a little more crazy with this. Let's do, because it's a big thing. So I could just do stuff like this, and even that would be, and maybe I will, make sure there's black on every single one. And maybe put a dot of another color. So I like black for its drama, and I think that's gonna be great. I wasn't planning that. It just goes to show you, you just never know. So what I think I might do is add a little turquoise, maybe some dots in this area. And I realize this is not one solid piece. So there will be some that have the lines, the marks on it, and some that don't. And that's okay. That's kind of makes it a little bit fun. But these marks are small enough that they should show up, at least on, obviously on some of them. So, okay. Now, maybe I'll add just a little bit of the yellow in. I did like the simplicity of all the black, and probably if I wasn't on camera, I might have left it, but I feel like we got to do more. We got to push ourselves, right? So I'm just going to fill in a few of these little spots and just add this other little bit of layering of color. I don't know, just seems like a good idea. And honestly, it would have been fine just with the black, I think, but I think this is kind of fun too. I'm just kind of filling in the white. I think it's kind of, my idea is to have them look like tape, not necessarily address labels. So that's kind of the whole goal here. And certainly, if they're fully painted, I think that helps. And I haven't done this a lot, but enough that I do like the result. Let's get these down here. Okay, I think that's all the spots where there were, oh, here's maybe a little bit up here. And maybe a little bit right here. And maybe dot right there. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and I'm gonna bring back one of the other ones and see if they're ready. Okay, this did not dry. This is not drying, and who knows if it will dry. So you'll have to experiment. If you have super shiny stickers, experiment with this. This will eventually dry. I'm just not gonna take a heat gun to it because obviously there is adhesive on the back side of this and I don't know if that will happen. Then I won't have any stickers to use. So my advice is practice, try different things, see what happens, see what works. And if not, then stick with just stick with the ones that are not quite so shiny, like these. So I'm thinking for this turquoise, I may just come in with some simple marks. I do like just simplicity, even though I kind of went crazy on that last one. Okay, that is about as simple as you get. And for this one, maybe I will do something a little bit bold. I don't know, maybe this full pattern won't show, is the thing. So maybe it needs a little bit of, I don't know, what does it need a little bit? I was gonna put this color, but then maybe it's too much. Maybe it just needs to be simple. And maybe I do a line, but then you can't see through it. So, okay, I don't like that. I don't like that we can see the colors from before. So I'm calling it right there. I'm gonna let this dry. And then we're going to take, oh, you know what we could do? Let's grab one of these tools and make some marks. Okay. All right, I like that. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And then once this dries, I will show you, I'll pull up some of the stickers so you can see what happens, and then pull out your old stickers and think about ways that you can then paint over them and turn them into something new. So I will be back in a few. All right, my stickers are dry, but before I started, I wanted to show you one of the ones I did recently on a sticker, and it was these cool oval shapes. And let me pop another one out. If I can get it out here. And just each one was a little bit different. So as you can see, because I've made, swirly patterns and little patterns, but how cool is that sticker? I love it. So I'm using these, like I said, in packaging and on gifts and just different things instead of a piece of tape. So I'm gonna set that over here, and let's pull up one of these. Let's see. If I can, these are a little bit smaller. Okay, so there you go. That one's pretty cool. I do like circles and ovals in that. You could probably use heart shapes. There's all kinds of shapes of stickers out there. So let me grab one more since these are so small. And usually they come up, oh yeah, pretty easily. So, okay. So yeah, you can see how you could use 2 or 3 in a row, and these are a little smaller. Maybe they go in the back of an envelope or something like that. So super cool. Okay, let's see how these turned out. If I can see where the sticker starts. Up here. Okay, this was no. For a second I thought it was a big one, but it's not. Okay, so that one is more like a piece of tape, and I like that. That is something I would definitely use. I like the simplicity of the brown with the yellow oxide ochre and just some simple marks. And I think this one had kind of a bigger one too. I think I'm gonna grab a bigger one. Yeah. Okay. And so you can see, I'm trying to, that big one would be awesome, and you could probably even cut it in half and use that as a, you know, for tape as well. So love it. Okay, let's try this big monster piece over here. And let's try to, I'm gonna try to grab something that looks a little bit interesting. Oh my gosh, look at that. See how fun that is? Just little bits of the yellow, the turquoise, the black. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And wouldn't that be a cool piece of tape on the back of a gift? So let's grab one from the middle right here and see how that one turned out. Because you really don't know. Okay, really liking that too. I'm gonna put it this way. So, wow, just super happy with that. This looks really messy to me, but I think when you break it down into these little pieces, it turns out great. I think all of them are ones I'm gonna use over and over. And this is a simple thing. Like for example, I have tons of these address labels that I really don't use. And so I can see using these as tape in situations where I wanna, you know, wrap a gift or something like that, or put one on the back of a envelope, or just, I don't know, in general. You could use it in your art as well. So like this would be super cool in mixed media art. Yeah, all of it would be. So anyway, the ideas are endless. Let me know if you have ever done anything like this, because this is fairly new to me. And how easy is that? It's just so, it's so easy. And I love using up something that we already have, whether it's the tape, whether it's now these stickers, and turning it into something that is uniquely our own, and then using it again to either be a part of our art or to use to decorate some other aspect of gift wrapping or envelopes or whatever you come up with. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.